One other way that I've tried to stay connected with people and also kind of tried to develop myself is I on Facebook with some people, just random Facebook friends. I started a virtual book club, which I'm always trying to get myself to read more. I don't know. I always have a hard time getting myself to read. I always want to, but then I never want to like sit down and actually do it. So, use other people to peer pressure me into being accountable. And so right now we're actually reading this interesting. It's flipped here. It's called Nothing to See Here. It's by Kevin
Oh.
Wilson. It's kind of I'm only a couple chapters in, but it is about a woman who goes to live with her old friend and her new husband, who is like a senator or something like that, like some big important person in the South. But the thing is, he's got two kids that anytime they're upset, and they're like 4 and 7, I think. Anytime they get upset, they catch on fire.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
that's intense.
Yeah. So I'm a couple chapters in it. Yeah, it's certainly intense. But it's kind of interesting as well.
Catch
So,
on
but
fire.
that's just I don't know. That's just another way
Oh.
that I've been A, connect with other people, and B, improve myself at the same time, which is what we were talking about. Just
Yeah, because
less expressing creativity and more appreciating
knowledge.
it, I guess.
Yeah.
Appreciating creativity.
Books are so great because I don't know, you can there's just so many different types of books. Like there's books where I literally have a money book on how to save money and do things with money and the psychology of money. So that's like complete utter knowledge in that book. And then you have books that are like about somebody's life because I have this one book, I don't remember the name of it, but she was a Korean defector and or not a North Korean defector.
Mm-hmm.
So she left North Korea and she told her whole story, and it was just very interesting. So then you get to see pieces of people's lives, and then on the other hand, you can have books that are complete fantasy, like Harry Potter, and
Yeah,
that's
like
just beautiful.
novels.
Yes, and it's just so many different types of books and so many different creative outlets for people. I think it's just
Yeah.
great.
And I want to get your an opinion on something. How do you feel about book to movie adaptations?
I have mixed feelings. I like the fact that you can project what the author was doing and like had in his head onto a screen for people to see, but I don't like when they change things. Like I'm trying to get a good example of a book that I read.
I've heard. No, I've never read Harry Potter. I've seen the movies. I've heard that
Mm-hmm.
the third one was particularly inaccurate from the book or something. I'm not. That's just what
I
I've heard.
didn't read the Harry Potter books either, but that's I've heard that as well. I did you read The Hunger Games? No. I would say The Hunger Games, they did a pretty good job of um pretty much playing how it went in the book.
Yeah. No, but those books weren't like super long, were they?
No, they not too long.
I think
No.
that's the problem. Once your book gets to a certain length, you there's only so much you can fit into a movie. Once you hit 2 hours, you better have something worth saying.
Yeah.
So I think especially, I mean, I don't. Stephen King's It, the two-parter that was a mega smash hit the last couple of years. I mean, that book is like that big. So even in like 4 hours of screen time, they left out so much stuff, which, when you're adapting, that's going to happen. But I also, what you were saying, especially when it comes to descriptive, there's nothing more boring to me than reading a bunch of description of just like what thing, sitting here reading a book. Maddie had a white lamp with a gray picture frame and a little horsey and a blue denim, like, but with video.
No, you're right.
That
does get, it gets annoying, but at the same time, it's so crucial for that imagery to pop up for the reader in their mind. But if it's on a screen, you don't have to worry about it. Oh, I can see that, you know?
I
Completely
like to make the joke argument that filmmakers just have better imagination than you and I, so we should see it through their imagination, not ours.
Hey, I kind of agree with that though.
But
Because
then
I'm
you
definitely
come
not talented enough to make a movie.
some books, depending on what they're talking about, and I specifically brought up the Stephen King example, is sometimes there's stuff that is describable in books, especially, kind of concepts outside of, I don't know, traditional reality, if you will. I know that's kind of extremely vague.
Okay.
But things that are difficult to show visually are obviously very difficult to show in movies. Now, and a lot of that has been worked out with, the increase in like technology and CGI and all that stuff. Like we're seeing things in movies today that people would have never imagined.